Welcome to our second lesson for chapter 15. For lesson 2 and 3, we are going to talk about how we use water. So for this lesson, we're focusing on residential water use. So learning objective or learning goal is that you should be able to describe the residential uses of water and the related concerns. So success criteria, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to list the various kinds of water use and the problems associated with each. So freshwater and conservation of aquatic resources are key to human well-being. We need fresh water to drink, and we need aquatic resources to be healthy and great so that we can continue to live in the world that we live in, and the water can keep being cleaned and all of the things. So the quality and the quantity of water and life-supporting ecosystem services are being jeopardized by population growth, rural to urban migration, rising wealth and resource consumption, and climate change. If trends continue, 1.8 billion people will have water scarcity by 2025, and 2/3 of the world's population could suffer water stress. So this is how different parts of the world use water. So worldwide, the greatest use of water is agricultural, then industrial, then domestic. If we look in North America, which is where we would be, then it's actually that most of the water is almost industrial, and then we do use a big chunk for agricultural and a little bit for domestic. It differs widely based off of where in the world you are. Asia and Africa, it's almost all agricultural, a tiny bit industry, and then mostly domestic. So it's different depending on where you are. For domestic use of water, over 90% of the water used for domestic purposes in North America is supplied by municipal water systems. That means that you're getting it from this, like a city source, like it's piped into your house. The average person in North America uses approximately 400 liters or 100 gallons of domestic water per day, so each person. 69% is used as a solvent to carry waste. That means cleaning stuff, or getting like flushing down waste. So that could be bathing, laundry, toilets, and then washing dishes. So that's where most of our domestic water goes. 30% is used for lawn and garden, and 2% is used for drinking or cooking. If we look at each of those on its own, lawns and then toilets are almost equal. The reason that we say that it's mostly solvent to carry waste is because we're combining toilets, dishes, drinking and cooking, and bathing and laundry all together. So natural processes cannot cope with highly concentrated urban waste, meaning we can't just pipe our sewage waste out into a natural stream or a natural lake and expect the natural processes that would happen there to take care of that. We have to treat it. So we treat all of the wastewater before it's released. And a 2011 study found that more than 200 unregulated chemicals like industrial solvents, weed killers, refrigerants, and rocket fuel component percolate in the water of 45 states. So even with this treatment, some of those chemicals still get through. Public attitude is a major cause of water loss. So as long as water is considered limitless, inexpensive, and an inexpensive resource, there's not going to be a lot of changes. We do pay for water, like whatever utility bills, like we're paying for water use. However, it's a pretty cheap resource compared to some others, to the point where we're not really concerned about, running the water too much. In 2015, the number of U.S. states reporting water stress was 46. And then the fast-growing western cities are especially vulnerable because they're getting more people than they can reasonably sustain with the water locally available. So when we have shortages of water, shortages of water and increasing purification costs have raised the price of domestic water in many parts of the world, and increased costs do tend to reduce use. You are less likely to use things if they're more expensive. So many cities in China are setting quotas on water use that are enforced by higher prices for larger users. So if you use more, you pay more. And then in the U.S., at the federal level, the U.S. EPA is in the process of developing a national consumer labeling program for water-efficient products that's modeled after the Energy Star program. So if you've ever gone and looked at appliances for sale, even like TVs, usually there's the Energy Star thing. That's talking about electricity. So EPA would like to release something similar for water specifically. So with the use of water and need of water, and most of our water being provided by municipal services, meaning, again, it's piped to us from the city, there are some issues. So in addition to encouraging the public to conserve water, municipalities need to pay attention to losses that occur within their own distribution system. So leaking water pipes and mains account for significant losses of water. In the developed world, losses may be as high as 20%, and in poorer countries that don't have the increased technology or the money for the different types of pipes and everything, they may lose up to 50% of water to leaks. All right, that is the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in the next one.